Then this new one's going to be at 5.5. And we haven't had returns like that in maybe my 30 years. So we thought that was a good place to invest our money because that tax increment's going to pay for it. Questions? Okay, where are we on motion? On the motion.
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Present.
On the, I'm sorry.
Present.
Present, okay. Taylor?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
And Height?
Yes.
Concludes new business.
Thank you, Lisa. Leanne,
you.
thank you for being here tonight. And go get us some money so we can make an even better neighborhood, no doubt. All right, we got public comments. We've got, it looks like about 4 or 5. Dorothy Bacchus.
And Mayor, there are actually 3 folks that signed up at the same time that they're all here on the same reason, but they may each have something different to say if the first one doesn't say it all.
Okay, so we got 3 of you. Okay. Identify yourself, please.
My name is Randall Brad. I'd like to say good evening to everybody. We've been having a major issue out here on 2nd Street where we had this club that's been not built, that has took up housing in the old McSpadden drugstore. And it's actually a full-fledged club, which they have 2 vacant lots on each side of this club that in one time it may be 100 cars out there. And anybody that's been in McSpadden drugstore know it's probably no more than 600 or 900 square feet. So therefore, the other people that's out in the audience, out of the clubs are in the streets partying, and they are drinking and everything around there. Then you got the motorcycle that runs up and down the street from 9:30 to 4:30 in the morning, and this is every night. So the people, the senior citizens in that area do not get any sleep over there because of the riffraff going on in the neighborhood. And I've been there since '73, and we never had no issue like this. And these people came to our neighborhood and disrupt our neighborhood. Then they go home at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Let me make a suggestion to you. Our chief of police is here, and as soon as we adjourn, if you'll hang out, he'll visit with you about your problem and start trying to figure out how to fix it.
Because we got to get some kind of relief over there. But it's going on probably 8 months now.
You're going straight to the top right now.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
all right, we'll do that. Okay, thank y'all very much. All right, that was that Rachel and Karina? No. No? Not Rachel. Okay, Rachel, you're up.
Thank you, and thank you for everything, Mayor Smith and council. I'm here. I didn't know Crystal Hill was such a big issue, but I am an investor. I recently had a property I purchased there, and I've made it, gave her some pictures of it. And my biggest issue is we need to adopt higher standards. If we don't, there's no reason to pass any bills for any residents or commercials. I've lived in this town of Burns Park area for 38 years. Crystal Hill doesn't have a good reputation, and the property owners there are paying for their property for the next 30 years. So do the math. They're paying a lot more than what it's worth if we don't clean the city up in that area. We've put so much infrastructure down at the North Shore Riverwalk. Why are we going to forget about Crystal Hill? The crime has increased, the squatting, the just drive through it, really.
Which part of Crystal Hill are you talking about?
I'm referring to Vaughn and Reed Road. Vaughn is kind of on the outside of Kelly, and it is outside the city, so this is my biggest fight. I started as a civil issue with a neighbor burning tires, then I moved over to calling ADEQ. Now ADEQ is involved in the air. ADEQ has also written a report on the solid waste. So this has become a bigger issue than just a civil matter. We need some higher standards. I know North Little Rock is working on writing code enforcement when you're given a penalty, you have to pay it or possibly not be able to get electrical services. When you're outside the city, our hands are tied, but if we're gonna put so much infrastructure in the North Shore, and now we wanna bring in a doctor, now we wanna bring in residential upgrades, why when there's poor standard of living?
Is your property in the city?
It's right on that line.
County? Okay.
And I own 8 properties, and I rent all these properties throughout the city. And so I've put so much money into this property just to give my renters a great home for a very low value. And I can't plead with the neighbor next door to clean up the mess because he's not all there, and that's all I'm going to say on that. We disagree. We agree to disagree. So I've had to take further action, and being that it's now a hazard on my tenants, they've got a 5-year-old that can't even play in the backyard. It's a fenced-in backyard. That property previously had a building in back that blew up because a homeless person was cooking meth in there. So our meth issue is huge in Crystal Hill, and if we don't fix it, we might as well just forget about investing any more money around it, because no one's going to buy property in a valued area that has no value.
Is your neighbor that you're having issues with, is he in the county or the city?
He is right next door.
So he's in the
And
county.
the homeless guy lived in the backyard hoarding all the stuff, and all it's going to take is one cigarette. That surrounding area, I have spoken with Sheriff Higgins. He has been brilliant at taking care of putting more law enforcement out there. I'm thinking about trying to take on the property at the top of the hill, which overlooks the freeway, which was supposed to be a continuation of the freeway. Now it is just a gravel property that people dump stuff. They go up there and they do drugs. We have to have police officers sit up there, and it's not safe. I mean, none of that's safe. Right down the road, we've had people climbing 22-foot poles, stealing copper wire from the AT&T pole. I mean, there's a lot of bad issues going on. And if we're going to keep it part of our outside city and invest around it, then we've either got to, clean it up or burn it down.
I'll give you a challenge, okay?
Okay.
If you will figure out what the city can do to help you with property in the county, bring it to me. After the flood's over with, I'm pretty busy right now.
I have spoke with everyone, and they said until this became an ADQ issue, it was a civil matter, and I would have to take him to court. I'm not going to spend $20,000 in court on an $8,000 property.
You agree with that, Counselor?
And with the property in the county, there's not, like the mayor said, there's not a lot we can do as far as enforcement or anything else, since the problem neighbor is not within the city limits.
Right. I spoke with Steve Walden of Road and Bridge. He told me that he went over there, observed the property. He could not give me a petition to be signed for the cleanup because it wasn't messy enough, but I've got air and solid waste from ADQ saying that this is a hazard of living. It's caused an infestation to my property. I have taken on an extra amount of pest control due to the infestation and hoarding of this neighbor.
Well, why don't you do this?
Yes.
Give me 2 or 3 weeks and then call me, and we'll try to get Judge Hyde involved. And
Yes.
he and I will try to approach ADEQ and see if the two of us might be able to influence them to get a little bit more serious.
Yes, I have multiple investors wanting to take over residential areas that have been abandoned and just recreate them and give people nice, healthy, clean places to live. My worry is Reed Road, they're squatting there with no electricity, no running water, so where is their waste going in our water system?
Mayor, in regard to this property, she gave me some information to share, so I'll send this to you tomorrow.
And that's for y'all to keep, and,
Wait,
any
Phil.
help I can get from y'all of new amendments or new things I can.
There's not much we can do other than be an adversary for you with the ADEQ. And,
Yes.
but I'll set a meeting up with me and you and Judge Hyde.
Can they put the narcotics out there, maybe clean up a little bit of, I know you can't arrest everybody, but sometimes if pest control helps if it's taken care of annually.
Well, what we need to do is get those drug dealers to wander over that line so that we can arrest them on our side.
I know, that's right.
We'll work with
I thank you so much for your time, Mayor and
Thank
Council.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael, you going to talk again? 3 minutes this time, not 4.
Actually, I only have 2 left, I believe.
There you go.
Yeah, I just want to say a couple of things and keep it short. As we've been going against this rezoning that we came up against, this has been going on since October. It started out as going for a C2 zoning, and we were asking then why it wasn't C1, but nonetheless, it's been dragging on for a while, and we want the council to know that we're all for growth, just we'd like to have it properly and systematically and in an orderly fashion. And, you know, I've researched a lot of case history and looking at the ordinances and everything, and more than I ever want to know about this, I guarantee you. But in closing, I'd just like to quote something I got out of the Bowen Law Repository. It says, recent cases have illustrated the court's understanding that although the property rights of an individual are not and never were immune to the rights of the public in general, controls on the property rights of a single individual may serve to preserve and protect the property rights of many individuals. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Any council members got anything good of the order? I'll go with the flood in just a minute when y'all get through.
I was wondering if we could get the pictures on the screen onto the TV, you know, like all the pictures from St. Jovis today.
They saw those.
They saw them? Oh, okay. That's,
between the speaker and the president.
thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor,
Yes.
there was a couple of flood updates posted this afternoon on Facebook. If you want to give us a 25
Yep, that's what I'm gonna
word
do.
or less, where we're at.
We met yesterday, we met today. This crest number has been very volatile. It was, by this time, a week ago, it was 22, then it went to 25. We were pretty happy at 25, we can handle that, and now it's up to 28. I talked to the vice mayor in Fort Smith today, he said they were expecting 3 to 4 inches of rain tonight. Will that change that crest? Chris doesn't think so. What it will do probably is it will make the crest stay longer. So it won't go up for 2 or 3 days, it might be up for 4, 5, or 6 days. But what we've done, we know where our hot spots are, and most of all y'all do too, because it's going to be the river backing up through the tributaries, if you will. White Oak, Chilkat Bayou, and then you've got that area down in Gribble, Dixie, and those are all backup, if you will. And then Willow Beach, of course, sits right on the edge of the river, and only about 5 houses, I think, we've identified will probably get wet. I don't think they're going to go underwater, but hopefully they're sandbagging around their air conditioning units and things like that. We put out sand and bags in 4 or 5 different locations today. They were posted on Facebook tonight, and they are Willow Beach, Dixie, Gribble, and off Crystal Hill by Wind Mist, I think is the name of that road, where there's a little pocket of houses there that could flood from White Oak Bayou. So they're out there. We're recruiting volunteers from churches. Carlton Wing, Representative Wing, called his church, worked at Dixie, I think, today, helping them. And we've got a sandbag machine, I think, we've requested from Camp Robinson to come in. And so we're keeping everybody updated daily on Facebook and our website. We're going to have some pocket flooding. The RV park will flood, and all the area that we were having the tailgating for the Buffett party in June the 6th. But we have asked CVB and our event planner to readjust, and looks like we're going to move everybody outside of the seawall instead of inside the seawall. And we're going to close down Riverfront Drive for those 2 days. So that's the plan. There's going to be 13,000 people here, and there's a tremendous amount of them from out of state. I've seen the zip codes, and it's unbelievable how much he attracts people from all over the country. So we're really looking forward to even the bad conditions of putting our best foot forward when all these visitors come to town. So that's pretty it in a nutshell. Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah,
You
just one question. The church, New Life Church, they're requesting sand and sandbags down at the church.
Which one's New Life?
the sign request.
Oh, the Pentecostal church?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just about half a mile down the road from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell them to go down there and get them, and, because we have to do it for to the public. I mean, we could certainly put another pile right there on their property, but they would have to share it.
Oh, they don't, I don't think they care about sharing it. They just want to do some barricades around the church. I guess around some of the stuff.
I don't think it's gonna get up in that church. You think it'll get up in that church, Chris? I don't think so either, but, tell them to go down there at the end of Willow Beach and see if that's not good enough for them. If they want some more, we'll go get them a pile. Just call Chief Bradley and he'll make it happen. There's a chance, you guys, my mother-in-law is gravely ill, and I might very well, Missy's already up there, might have to leave and go to Fayetteville tomorrow. We're gonna make that decision tonight. If I do, Danny's in charge. He's got the same authority as I do, and all of our staff knows that. And so we're gonna work just as if I was here. I'll be in contact via phone if I end up having to go. There's a chance I might be able to stay. She's getting a little bit better, but not much. So with that, any others? How about a motion? On the motion.
Ross? White? Taylor?
Yes.
Baxter? Harris? Gann?
Yes.
Height?
Part of it is, yeah. Part of it is.
When I drove by there today,